The following is an excerpt from the feature documentary film An American Small Town. To watch the entire film and learn how you can support this important film series, visit www.anamerikansmalltown.com.
There's a German word called Heimat, and technically it's home, but it's not where you live, it's not a building, it's where your heart is. And for me, New Glarus is my Heimat. This village holds that essence of my soul and the families of so many of us whose ancestors came here first. My name is Beth Zerbakken, as we say here in Wisconsin, but the Swiss would say Zerbuchen. This is the largest Swiss-focused library probably in the world. Joseph Rost lived in Monroe, just 20 minutes away from here. And this is the book that he had when he was probably in middle school in Switzerland before he emigrated. It gives you a sense, even though my high school German doesn't always serve me really well so many years later, but it gives me a sense of 1943. What was it like before Joseph came to America? And sometimes people go, oh my gosh, that must have been what my grandmother went through, or my great-grandmother went through. It gives you that sense of roots. You're more firmly rooted into the ground when you have the substance of your history. Books of today just kind of are vinyl, or they're paperback, or they're not all that interesting. Now, take a book like this, and this is a family Bible. My daughter Molly must have been about 10 years old at the time. She goes, Mom, what is that? I said, probably a flower from their wedding that's been pressed in there since, did I say 1753? And again, maybe it's not your family story, but your family fits in this. Most everything in here comes from a woman in New Jersey, born in Switzerland. She passed away unexpectedly 3 years ago. We received her furniture and her library, and I've had Swiss people, born in Switzerland, living in Switzerland, walk in this room and they gasp, oh mein Gott, meine Großmutter had this same furniture. And so to have a room filled with the armoires of this beautiful peasant painting is, again, priceless because of people coming in and gasping and going back to probably when they were little and going up to grandma's bedroom perhaps and seeing these beautiful pieces of furniture that are now lost in the sands of time, but not in the memory. It's extremely important to me that pieces that were important to your grandmother, your great-grandmother, great-grandfather, your ancestor, not be lost, and I call it the sands of time, just disappear. And so I stress to people, these items, whether you're Swiss, German, Norwegian, Japanese, they don't belong thrown away at the garage sale or in the thrift stores. Part of my passion begins with my great-grandmother. And I look at this picture and I think of I'll cry, the one more day story. I'd love to see my dad, but if I could sit and talk with her and say, what was it like? She got off the train. Bert wasn't there. She didn't speak the Glarner language. She spoke a different language. What was it like for a 16-year-old to stand there and not know anything? What was it like? Were you afraid? You had to be afraid. But yet, because of this one family, I'm here. I would love to have that time when I was a little kid and actually care, other than they were just there. And Grandpa could yodel and do gymnastics and do anything, but never talked to Grandpa about anything other than what kids talk to their grandparents about, which is little or nothing. And so when people come here, I get it. Because my journey's easier because we have more people alive who still know the family history, but I know what they're looking for. I know that Heimat feeling in the heart, that this is something that will enrich their life, that you get to be a certain age, and sometimes I joke you have to be closer to being an antique before you really care about the past, but you're missing a big part, a little part, but you're missing that story. But until you travel, until you go, you don't know what precious life you left behind. So you have to go. And I don't care if you go 20 miles or if you go 17 hours by car. You have to go in order to come back and appreciate what you have. What would you take? Everything in your home, and you have to pare it down. You're never going to go back. This is just so important. And what would you put in there? The why is important because it's who you are. Once our elders are gone, that why disappears.